Listening to Newshour on the BBC World Service. As the year ends, there's no end in sight to Gaza's devastating war, no end in sight to the deepening humanitarian catastrophe. But there are efforts to step up the flow of desperately needed aid. Israel's Foreign Minister Eli Cohen says Israel is prepared to allow ships to deliver aid to the Gaza Strip immediately and by sea. He reiterated an earlier pledge to permit a sea corridor with aid vessels travelling from the Cyprus port of Larnaca rather than going through the land crossing from Egypt or Israel. For more details, I've been speaking to Gabriel Haritos. He's a lecturer of Hellenic-Israeli relations at Ben Gurion University in Israel and also the Panteion University in Athens. First of all, I asked if it was clear where the ships would go in Gaza.
The only information we have, it is by the Israeli newspaper Israel Hayom, for the ships to come from Larnaca to come to Al-Mawasi port. Basic infrastructure in Al-Mawasi, but it is considered as the safest point in the southern part of Gaza.
Now, Al-Mawasi, as you may know, is where Israel has repeatedly said it wants to set up a safe zone for Gazans to go to. And the UN and others have repeatedly said there's not enough space, there are no logistics there. You mentioned that there's basic infrastructure on the coastline, but to take in big ships and to offload them and inspect them, there would have to be quite a bit of work done. Is that your understanding?
What we know from Eli Cohen, Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs, that gave an interview, he said that Britain and Greece and the Netherlands and France asked so that the equipment that you have mentioned can be brought to the Israeli port of Ashdod. And from there, they might be able to end up to Gaza and give the humanitarian aid. Eli Cohen said that Israel wants to detach itself from any issue that involves the civil life of the residents of Gaza. But we have to have in mind at the end of this week or next week, we will have a new foreign minister here in Israel. So we have to wait and see what he is going to say about the matter. Eli Cohen said that Israel is interested in doing a security control in Cyprus at the port of Larnaca on the ships that will carry the humanitarian aid.
So it may be relatively straightforward to arrange for the Israeli inspection at the Larnaca port. Eli Cohen did say to Israel Radio that they did not want an Israeli port to be involved. The other concern on the security side will be that maritime corridor. At a time where ships in the Red Sea are coming under attack, there must be concern that there needs to be a safe corridor, or is that passage a relatively shorter and more secure route for ships to take?
To be honest, he wasn't very clear of how Israel would secure not only the ship that will carry the humanitarian aid, but also the trip every ship is going to do from Larnaca to a port in Gaza. What we know from reports is that the Israelis do conduct a security check in El Arish, in the Mediterranean coast of the Sinai Peninsula. From there, they move to Rafah and to the Gaza Strip. Right now, there is no truce. So practically, I think that you might agree that the corridor cannot start immediately.
But relations between Cyprus and Israel are such that both countries would want to make this work?
First of all, yes. The second thing has to do, of course, with the separatist administrative entity in the northern part of Cyprus, and also the fact that the Republic of Cyprus is a member of the European Union. This initiative is supported by the European Union and the West. All this is information that it is supportive to this initiative, but we need to have a truce first.
Gabriel Haritos speaking to us from Israel.